Okay, our next presenter on maintaining the momentum is Ed Angleton. Ed Angleton is vice chairman of the Marion County Party, and Ed ran in 2008 for House District 100. And Ed did a great job of maintaining the momentum of his race. He did everything a good candidate should do between announcing his race and then the final few weeks of the race. And he did a great job those last 2 weeks too. I don't want to take anything away. Ed wore out a pair of shoes. He knocked on every door in his district. He wore out a knee. He almost wore out his marriage. He's one of those people that Mike talked about who we'd love to have Ed run again, but he said, well, I'd have to find a new wife. So he won't. So he is here to assist you in maintaining your momentum and acting as a good campaign manager for somebody. So if you all give a round of applause for Mr. Ed Angleton.
Thank you, Chris. Today I'm going to speak to you about maintaining the momentum. The time that after you've got all the paperwork filed, you've made your initial press releases, up to the period of the last minute crunch heading into the election itself. So what does this entitle? One quick other thing too I want to mention before I get started. Sean Shepard mentioned in his, or will mention in his topic that being able to speak to the media is a major selling point, something you really need to do. And if you're uncomfortable speaking in public, find a chapter at Toastmasters, go there, and they will teach you how to speak in public. So, with no further ado, maintaining momentum. Got 6 points I want to cover here. First is we're going to start with a plan. You need to know your district. Second point is that personal touch. Getting out, canvassing the neighborhoods, knocking on doors. 3, make every day a shearing festival. Anybody know reference to that one? From Ben-Hur. It's a really obscure thing. But events, festivals, fairs, mail-ins, mails-in, direct mailings. ET, phone home, phone calls, very important. And finally, we band of brothers, dealing with volunteers. So, start with a plan. Baldrick, I've got a clever plan. Blackadder. Break your district down into manageable units. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Use the political subdivisions, counties, townships, wards, precincts. If you're running for, say, a state representative office, in Marion County, you're just dealing with a township, basically. If you're outside Marion County, in a more rural location, you're going to be dealing with counties as your major political subdivisions. You may have like 3 or 4 counties that are part of the district you're running in. And within each precinct, look for neighborhood organizations. These will be your homeowners associations, your watch committees, your block watches, whatever, crime watches. People that you can go and talk to. And finally, establish who is the contact person in each neighborhood. So, start with a plan. Know your district. Get a map of your district. You don't want to be spending all your time over here campaigning when your district's here. It sounds like common sense, but people forget that. I had at some of the neighborhood association meetings I went to, in my district, there were people there representing candidates from other districts. I said, why are you here? Not that I mind you wasting your time, especially considering who it was. But, so know your district. Get a map. They'll help you plan, too. And then, know the precincts within your district. This is 1502. It's a precinct here in Marion County. It encompasses the area from what's known as Fletcher Place down into Fountain Square area. And then the Fletcher Place neighborhood is up in this area here. So know the districts. Know what you're talking about. And, for example, if you're here in Marion County, you go to indy.gov, and you can get a listing of all the neighborhood associations within your area, by township, that you want to for. So for Fletcher Place, it gives the boundaries, gives the contact person, and gives the time, the date that was last updated. So this is fairly recent, so it's probably good. Some of them haven't been updated for 5 years, so they're probably a little iffy as far as that contact person. But you can still try it. This is the person you need to talk to if you want to show up at their neighborhood association meeting. He can get you on the agenda. So, to talk to neighborhood organizations, first of all, you need to find out what their meeting schedule is. If they've got a website, that makes it easy because they usually have it posted there, a schedule of their meetings. Use the neighborhood contact to schedule a short presentation. You have campaign materials with you to pass out at that presentation. You be gracious, you be thoughtful, and you listen to what the voters, the people there are telling you. You take notes to follow up questions that you don't have the answers for. You get back to them. And then plan to canvass that neighborhood within the next week or so, while your image is still fresh in their minds. So they'll know it's you coming through. Cardinal rule number 1. This hasn't been talked about yet, and I think it's very important. Never, under any circumstance, no matter how stupid that person may be, never argue with a voter. It doesn't do you any good. So, canvassing. This houses are rocking, don't bother knocking. Voter lists. Where can you get voter lists? From private sector programs like Aristotle, etc., or your friendly local county clerk's office, which may or may not be so friendly, depending upon who you are and what their attitude is.
What should you ask for when you go to the clerk's office specifically?
What you want to do is get the registration records for the registered voters in a particular area, district.
Okay.
That's what I did. I went actually to the election board. Yes.
You're exactly right, because I just talked to them a couple of days
Yeah.
ago. You want to ask them for a polling list.
The polling list,
And
yes.
same with the precinct maps. Where would you get those?
Precinct maps, the county clerk's office should have them. They may not give you very good ones. Here in Marion County, our friends in the Democratic Party have done a wonderful job of cataloging all these for us. So you can go to their website and steal them. So you don't have to worry about that. And as far as district maps, you can go to the state and get it. You can go to the county government in Indianapolis. It's india.gov has the clerk's office. They have this beautiful psychedelic map of all the districts within Marion County. But it takes forever to download. It's big. And you'll get something that, once you distill it down, is going to look something like this. So you've got names, addresses. You can sort it out by any number of criteria to make a list. Take that list, pair it up with your map for the precinct, and develop a walking plan. Some commercial programs like Aristotle will do this for you. So that's the nice thing about that. If you don't have the money for Aristotle, then this is your best alternative. So, like I said, use database tools to organize the lists and use precinct maps to plan a walking route. At the door, you want to look professional. Wear something that says you are a candidate, whether it is a campaign button or a name badge, something to let people know who you are. And the other thing too is do not spend more than 30 seconds waiting for a response after knocking. You'll never get anywhere. Basically, my rule of thumb is I would hit the door, I would knock, I would count to 15, I would knock again, count to 15. If nobody shows up, I pull out something, stick it in the door, leave it, go on. You know, if you hear them coming to the door after you start to leave, then go back, definitely. But if it's if they don't answer within 30 seconds, if you don't hear any response at all, there's probably nobody home. And you don't want to spend 2 minutes there knocking on a door when you could be using that 2 minutes at somebody else's house, actually talking to a voter. 3, if no answer, leave campaign materials. Don't put them in the mailbox. That can get you in big trouble. Have a supply of sorry I missed you pre-signed materials.